Really? Okay. Okay. So first and foremost, Jonathan, the question I have for you first, I do want to introduce you guys to anybody who is joining now. We just got through streaming Kill Me If You Can, written and produced by Mr. Jonathan Runnin, directed, produced by Miss Catherine Bryant, and we have Miss Jessica McKay on with us. She's an actress in the film. So the question that I have, Jonathan, first and foremost, I know you, movie go, very familiar with your work. You have so many films that are surrounded by, like, your horror films are slasher, straight, like, grimy, gruesome. I remember yours very, very vividly from last year. So why this type of horror? What is your obsession with it? Why do you love it so much? Tell me that.
Well, I've loved horror since I was a child. It's always something about being scared that really kind of like piqued my interest. Even before I really got into watching horror movies, I was just fascinated by it. So when I, started first doing films, it was the easiest thing for me to transition into, coming into the game. So it kind of just stuck with me. My first feature-length film was slasher, was a slasher and a horror film. And then so, going into doing, shorts that we were having in this cinematic same universe, was, kind of the gumption that we're doing right now. We're building brands. We're building self-contained brands within a slasher universe. So I think it's always fun to get scared and fun to see people slash and gash.
So you mentioned slasher universe. I don't think I've ever heard slasher and universe in the same sentence. What does that mean to you?
So you know how like Marvel has their own cinematic universe. So the slasher verse is different stories are all in the same universe, coexisting at the same time. So Kill Me If You Can is a new film and a new franchise birthed within that same universe as my feature film.
Okay. So slasher universe, that's beautiful. I don't think a lot of us in our community specifically do horror. So kudos to you for even, standing beside that work and saying, well, I'm going to have a universe behind it. I do have a question for Miss Catherine. And in case you guys are wondering, I am like simultaneously like muting just in case. I think I'm the only one with the mic, so people don't hear a lot of random stuff. So Catherine, question I have for you: how was it for you directing something that you didn't write? Is this your first project with you directing? Is this your first slasher project? Like, how was this experience for you?
I think am I muted? Okay, I'm not muted. Okay. So yes, this was my first project that I directed, produced, and written. It was an experience. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of curveballs that were thrown my way. But it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. The cast was amazing. Learning a lot from Jonathan since he is an expert in horror. So, diving in with my first project, I was like, I think I want to do something in the horror genre. And it was a lot of fun. This project originally started out as a homework assignment. And I was like, I can go bigger. I can go bigger than it just being a class assignment. I'm already taking time out of people's schedules. Let's make this fun. Let's make this impactful. Let's bring in the fear. Let's bring in the gore. And that's what I did. And it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Awesome. So I'm imagining, do all of you guys go to school together? What's the history behind you guys even linking up and working on this project?
Jonathan and I went to LMU together, and he was a year above me. So I reached out to him and I asked him, hey, I have this project I want to work on. I've seen your other work. Can you help me with it? And we linked and made something amazing. And we did a casting call and we saw Jessica and we're like, absolutely. She'll be perfect for this.
And Jessica, how was it for you? Like, first of all, was this your first time, like, going through such a gruesome experience on set as an actress and having to get into that type of role?
Sorry, let me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this was definitely one of my first horrors, like as you know, a speaking role. And it's so funny because for me, I'm not such a horror fanatic, but I love being a part of horror projects. You know, just there's so many different elements to it. There's so many different things that scare people. And so it's kind of fun to dive into that and see, you know, what about it, you know, makes people tick, makes people scared. So yeah, I remember, you know, that first kind of walking on and being like, okay, am I in the right spot? And then meeting these guys and just honestly, just feeling so comfortable, like just, you know, right off the bat, you know, they made it very clear, if you have any questions, any concerns, you know, we're here for you. And I was like, cool, like, these are my people. Like I'm, you know, I'm in, I got my family, I'm here. So yeah, it was really great. Everybody was such a well-oiled machine. You know, it felt like everyone had been working together for years. And yeah, just such a camaraderie. I was really happy to be a part of it.
How long have you been acting, Jessica?
Gosh, I think it's now 6-7 years. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's been awesome.
Okay. Well, Jonathan, tell me, so I know this is like a short, and then you have plans for like a slasher universe. So I would imagine that means characters are going to be personified. Maybe we may even get like some origin backstories. So tell me what you can tell me. You know, I know that you're an artist and some stuff has to be kept secret, but tell me what you can tell me about this particular film and the motive behind the group. Why are they targeting these people? And what's so significant about them? What's their story?
Right. So when Kat and I got together about this project, we wanted to do something that was a little different than just one slasher person walking around stalking people. We were like, wow, what would be scary if there's this group of people that just follow these people and pick people off for fun? You know, they just have their own cult and they just are like their own sick little family. And they're kind of the centerpiece of this new franchise. And these victims are just, you know, innocent bystanders, which maybe not, you know, maybe there is a motive that we'll explore. But we do plan to launch this into other films. I know we want to do at least 2 more shorts with this, maybe a feature at some point, but just exploring the mythos of, you know, this cult, why they do what they do. And, you know, will someone ever survive or be able to defeat them? You know, I think that'd be really fun to play with.
Yeah, I think so as well. So something that just popped into my head, especially with the way that you are building out this thing for any, either they're, you know, wanting to get into the world of starting in the horror genre, or they've done it, for anyone out there, indie filmmakers, directors, writers who want to get into this genre, what advice do you have for them as far as like your process behind even figuring out what type of story you're going to move forward with? How do you make things scary? What type of things do you look for when you're actually building out a gory type of thing? And what type of people do you need on your project, or, you know, the knowledge behind everything?
That's a great question. Do the research. And with anything you do your research, know movie references, know what you want your shots to look like, know what kind of other films that you want your film to similarly look like, especially for lighting, color scheme, locations, you know, also play with shadows, you know, just all kind of things that's going to build the atmosphere of your film. And also make sure the people that are on your team are familiar with what you're trying to build. They know exactly what you're doing, from your actors, you know, that they know this is a horror film, and they even know the specific genre of the horror film, and the tone of your film is very important, because some people are so used to doing comedic things and they don't understand what kind of horror you're going for. Does that make sense? And yeah, and even your crew, like say your DP that knows how to shoot horror movies, that's familiar with horror lighting. I feel like all that is very important, to just know what you're making.
I like that the first thing you said was do your research. That's always something that I notice. And it's always a question I ask when I do stuff like this, because you'll be interested, you know, I'm interested to know, are people actually researching, or are they creating first? And then, oh my God, I should research second. So question I have for each of you, because this looks different for everybody with whatever role that they have and however they decide to do art in general. What is your process for researching, whether it be for a role or to be on the cast of a project or to write a project? What does research look like? Is it Google? Is it YouTube? Is it just binge watching content? What is it for you? And I will start with Jessica, since she's unmuted.
Thank you. I would say my process as an actress is to, first off read the script, get familiar with it. And if there's any words that I don't understand, or if there's anything, they make reference to anything that I'm not 100% familiar with, YouTube and Google, those are my golden ones. And I'll make notes. I don't know if I ever showed my scripts to Jonathan or Catherine, but I write on my scripts. I make notes about thoughts I have. I have one side just for thoughts that, my character at that time might be having, because we know everything changes, everything's very fluid, but those are the things, kind of my initial reactions. And then on the right side, are there any questions, and those are any questions for, the director or the writer, that I can bring it up during our first, rehearsal. Hey, if it wasn't answered, just things that, part of the backstory, where there's things, how long have we been friends? What is our relationship? Kind of looking into that. And what are her hobbies? What are her fears? Kind of really diving into the character so that you're in it. When you're in it, it's not just, oh, there's a person getting stabbed. Like, oh my God, that's my best friend that we've gone to, we've used the bus every day. Like I know her boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like it's real. It's not something that's just written on paper. It becomes very real for you. Not necessarily method, but you need to create that story. And that's also something, you don't want to have a disconnect between what you're thinking the story is and what the writer, director, producer has thought about the story. For me, it's very important to have communication with everyone, because we're creating this project, we want this, we're all giving 150%, we all want it to be amazing. So for us to all be on the same page is really, really important.
That is some really good advice, Jessica. I don't think I've ever had that detailed response from an actress. So kudos to you. I can tell you've been in the game for 6 years. Like, that's like a response of somebody who's been in the game for 6 years. I'm definitely I got to clip that out and share that, because thank you for that. And Miss Catherine, what is your research process, especially being a director for the first time on this project?
So for me, you have to find something that you're passionate in. That's, you have to. Whatever piques your interest, that's where you're going to start off first. And you're going to have to watch content, watch other people's content, watch television shows, watch movies, watch web series. You're going to have to watch content. And from there, sorry if you hear the background noise, my guests. And then from there, I would start off with finding people at different universities, different schools, community college. You're going to have to put yourself out there and start collaborating with people. Ask questions. There's different Facebook groups, Instagram groups for filmmakers, content creators. You need to reach out to people. You're not going to just write a script by yourself. Everything is part of a collaboration. So find someone who has the same interests as you. Oh, I like your work. Do you want to collaborate on something? Well, let's make a film. Do we want to do horror? Do we want to do drama? Do we want to do a web series? Do we want to do something comedic? And then that's where you start. And then who's your favorite director? Who's your favorite screenplay? That's where you start. That's where you start.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine. That's so true. I believe collaboration, that's the main thing that I heard. And that can be a beautiful thing, especially if you're just getting started out. So thank you for that. And Jonathan, what about you? What does your research process look like?
Definitely breaking down the script, creating a lookbook so you can see your visuals laid out for you. And just designing what the vision of the film is and knowing what that is, and knowing, how these films exist in society today and how you want to put your own unique spin on things too, because it's important to have your own originality. Like, everything's been done on the sun a million times, but you can do your own version of something and it's totally fine, right? So what we're creating is, we know that things exist out there. We know there's, kind of home invasion films. There's, kind of these group films of killers, but we took ours to a different level. And then we also want to give the audience gore, violence, you know, because there's such a lack of a lot of that in a lot of horror films today. I think I heard that the new Halloween is very violent, you know, but, you know, like Candyman wasn't. Candyman was very kind of like more of a think piece, you know, so, you know, it just depends on what you're doing, but we definitely want our horror to be balls to the wall, hardcore, scare you, you know, even if the characters make good choices, sometimes they still die, you know?
Oh, that was hilarious. Like, even good people die too, okay? It's horror. So, I'm sorry. That was funny. So, I heard you say something about gore in horror films. And I've actually noticed that this is a trend. And I'm wondering, is it because you know, gore is something that was a little bit, it's retro now, and now, you know, we're more into psychological type thrillers. So I'm interested to hear your take on that, Jonathan, especially given your extensive background in this. You know, you love gore, so why do you think that there's a lack of gore in horror? Is it like because it's retro? Is it like, you know, people are, you know, don't want to upset people's stomachs? What is it?
I think it's a ratings game, honestly. I think, you know, when you're trying to get a more audience to your film, because, you know, let's be honest, like rated R films are just going to have its core audience. But if you can get it to be PG-13 and kind of like, you know, omit some things to get a larger audience in the theater and seats, then I believe that's what's really going on right now. And, you know, and then also depends on the type of genre of horror that you're doing. Like you said, psychological, it's more mental, it's more playing on your fears than what you're actually seeing. And then you have movies that are like body horror. Like Candyman was body horror, you know, just seeing someone more focusing on somebody like, you know, falling apart and, you know, fingernails coming out and different things like that versus, you know, actual horrorcore gore with a knife or some kind of weapon, you know. So it just really depends. But I think it's a numbers game.
Okay. All right. And then another question I had, just for, again, anybody who is getting into, I would say like a first timer, like somebody who hasn't done this at all. And they're like, oh my God, where do I start? How did you guys cast for this film? What was that process like? How did you know when you had the perfect actress for it? Well, no, we did have, I would say, actors. Looked like we had some male slashers in there. So what was that process like? And anybody can answer. I don't know what you guys' casting process was. If it was like, I know Catherine mentioned casting.
So for us, we had a casting call. We definitely did auditions. We had key points in the script that we wanted them to act out. And so like some of the screams, I will ask, you know, our actors scream the loudest. And I would just give them different scenarios. Like, how would you act in this type of scenario? Show me what fear looks like for you. And that's really how we were able to cast them, because my script didn't have a lot of dialogue. It was more movement and action, transitioning from one location to another. So it was really zoned in on how you react to fear. And then Jessica, she killed it in audition. We're like, okay, of course, absolutely. And so we based it on, okay, well, she's going to be the mouse. And then we have our cats here. And it was a cat and mouse game. And we were able to cast like that.
I love that. That's really smart. Like, I love that. You guys have some really good responses that are going to be very beneficial to people who are creating out there. Like, show me what fear looks like. That's awesome. I love that you guys did that. Okay. I'm taking notes. So, all right. So also, guys, I really want to know, Jonathan, I know that you always have something up your sleeve. I've been following you since we met. We've been on social media pals since we've been in this thing. So what can we look forward to from you in the future?
Yeah, so definitely more horror, you know, of course, is coming. Just wrapped a movie in May called Children of Night. Catherine and I wrote this new horror film, and it's about vampires. So it would be something very different that, you know, we haven't done yet. And I'm really excited about it. It looks so good. It's in the early stages of being edited right now, but pretty much it's about a house sitter who, you know, needs money for her next semester's tuition, and she ends up taking a gig from this young, illustrious, you know, couple, but they're secretly vampires, and they're secretly looking to, you know, build their family. So will she survive the night, or will she make it out, you know, in one piece or drop?
Okay, and this is an excellent question, because hearing you say that and me knowing you, what keeps you going, Jonathan? Like what keeps you in the zone and flow? Because you just keep creating, you just keep putting stuff out there.
Well, that's a great question. Determination, perseverance. Just, you know, anytime I ask people about this journey, just like, you know, what am I doing? Can I do something better? Am I not going hard enough? People are like, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're staying consistent. You know, you're consistently working. You're consistently putting work out. You're, you know, and, you know, I promote. Whenever you see something coming out from me, I promote the shit out of it, because that's just what it takes, you know, to really get people to believe in you and see your vision, you know, because people will doubt you and say shit about you all day long. I've been talked about like a dog since I was a child, like, because people didn't understand the creative of me. They thought I was weird, that I was strange, that I had visions, that instead of playing tag, I wanted to play movie games. I wanted to, like, you know, let's play Scream, let's play something else that, you know, led to where I'm at today. Now I'm making films, right? So to keep going, you got to keep going. You know, if you dream something and you want to come true or speak into existence, you got to create these things. You got to have follow through. And that's what I'm trying to show. Do an example of what I'm doing is having follow through and having persistence, and you'll be able to reach your goals and dreams.
Awesome. Awesome. And do you have a plug? Where can we find you and all of your content?
You can find me on Instagram at Supastar Productionz, Supastar Productionz with a Z. That is on all platforms. That is on YouTube. That is on Facebook. That is on Instagram. And yeah, you can check out all our works on different platforms. The majority of the work is going to be on YouTube right now. But yeah, we're doing different things, getting things on streaming. This film will be going to streaming eventually. So just keep a lookout for what we're doing. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So same question for you, Jessica. I'm going to go to you. I do want people to know where to find you, but also what can they be looking forward to from you as an actress? Or I know you mentioned before we got started with this stream, you are currently directing. Oh.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so my biggest plug, I would say, is Instagram. I'm Jessica L. McKay. You can find me. I like to document the different things that I'm doing, you know, whether it be acting or filming. Actually, when COVID just started, I had started to create my own things because nothing was happening. And I was getting, you know, where I was banging my head against the wall. Nothing was happening. So I started just writing, you know, and I had my little camera and I shot it. And the first thing I ever did was just me by myself doing everything. I'm acting to nothing. And then I edited it, and it was very humbling, but I'm still super proud. You know, it's something that you just got to start. If you have a dream, if there's something you want to do, just take the first step, you know, because it's not just going to magically fall in your lap. You got to go for it. You got to push yourself, you know, and I think having a team of people who are supportive of you and your dream is huge. So I have a baby YouTube channel, Jessica McKay, I believe. And then I have a couple of films that I've done, and I just finished one, goodness, like 3 weeks or so ago, where I'm acting as a nurse. And that was really cool because I am a nurse in real life. And so that was really cool to kind of put all of my emotions and things that I've been, you know, kind of bottled up and kind of put that into a creative outlet. So yeah, that's on YouTube. And there's a couple, I did something for Christmas, the holiday card. But yeah, you can find my stuff on there. And I think, you know, just having a good team with you and just keep going. And if there's something that's funny that you can't quite get rid of, like it keeps kind of circling in your brain, write it down. You know, I have a couple of things that I'm like, that's funny, but I can't, you know, I don't know where to go with it, but have a journal, you know, write it down. For me, I'm very, like, I need to put pen to paper. I can't use my computer to write scripts. It's the weirdest thing. I have to, you know, pen and paper. So I think finding what works best you know, for you. Don't judge the process. Don't judge yourself. The world will do that for you. And just, you know, just to kind of just start, you know, that would be my biggest advice, even though I feel like I'm still such a baby as a filmmaker in this, you know, in this industry.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, Jessica. It is inspiring to hear that you're a nurse and you have been consistently doing this for 6 years. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm pretty sure that will inspire somebody to keep going, because if you're not a nurse, and especially during the pandemic, and you're like, well, I'm tired, I'm not inspired, listen to this one more time, do a replay. All right. Thank you, Jessica. And Catherine, same question for you. Do you have any plugs? What can people look out to or look out for from you in the future? And what are you currently working on?
So Jonathan and I, we have a couple of projects coming out. One, of course, is Children of Night, that is in post-production right now. And we also have Flashing Lights. It is not a horror, but it's an amazing film that I cannot wait for you guys to see. That will be coming out soon as well. Again, you could catch our work on Supastar Productionz via IG, to mainly my personal Instagram is IamKBryant. You can check out my work there as well. But we're gonna definitely have a franchise with Kill Me If You Can. Definitely another installment coming out soon. And I'm really excited for the future. We're gonna really expand horror and bring it back to the basics with gore, and you know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So continue to follow us and look out for our work.
Awesome. I'm really excited to see what you guys do with Kill Me If You Can. The title has so many things that you can do with it. So I'm excited to see what you guys come out with. I am writing down all of you guys' information because I will be following you. It's just my name. So you're not going to be surprised. Like, who is this? It's me, Debra Brandon, Instagram and Facebook. And I'm also going to be finding you guys on the MovieGo platform. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And for everybody that's watching, I'm actually going to replay the film. I think I have it up. Let me make sure I can pull it back a little bit. So I am going to replay it, but before I replay it, I'm going to do another drop for the Scream on Screen Film Festival. If you're watching this from another platform and it's not the Scream on Screen Facebook group, then go ahead and click on Scream on Screen. I don't believe I have it tagged in the caption, so just type in Scream on Screen and you're going to see the group. It's been up for a couple of years now. This is our second year doing this, so every day we're going to premiere an indie film, and at least twice a week we're going to come in with another interview just like this. And our whole purpose for this is to give people the opportunity to see other independent creators creating, to ask them questions. So as you come in, you're going to be able to ask them questions. So make sure that if you have questions, you're asking those questions. If it's something that is private and you find somebody that you want to work with, make sure you reach out to these creatives. These are people who, it's crazy, but we've had like at least 3 people who submitted last year submit again. So I'm so grateful to see these creators constantly and consistently just working in the realm of horror. We don't always see that. So thank you guys for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and cue up this film.
Before we do that, can I just give a shout out real quick to both Catherine and Jessica for being female directors. Come on, female directors.
That's true.
Come on, y'all. Like, let's give them their praise for that. And just, us out here doing our thing. We're in Los Angeles, so if anyone's in the Los Angeles area or coming to visit or, whatever, reach out to us on social media. Let's collab on a project, and yeah.
Yep. Thank you for adding that, because we did not do a location drop. But yes, they are in Los Angeles. If you're in Los Angeles and you're tired of the bougie filmmakers, I'm sorry, I'm just playing. But if you're in Los Angeles and you want to get down with some really cool people that are consistently doing work, positive, reach out to them, please, guys. I love you, Jonathan. Thank you so much again for submitting. And thank you, newfound friends, Miss Catherine and Jessica. Looking forward to seeing you guys again. I know I will. All right, guys.